There are many people who die in the Ling Shaogei disciple every year, but Yo Ting-jun looked at the brothers who are brave enough to go forward without any retreat. The heart cannot help but be a little alarmed. Easy to get away, Yo Ting-jun cannot do this at his own expense, and I'm afraid that he will admit defeat if he is not aware of it. Staying in the green hills is not afraid of burning wood. This is the way of life. Don't hit the short wall and don't look back. This is a kind of persistence. Saying that Yang opened his body and walked, but the wall was getting stronger and stronger. Yo Ting-jun knew that he would not stand him. Today, this is not a finish. At this point, Yo Ting-jun waved a knife and slashed it on the neck of Yang Kai, which was rushed over. Yang felt his momentum suddenly dissipated, his eyes lost, and he fell down softly. Seeing this scene, a person standing on the top of a tree in a tree of more than 1,000 feet took out a booklet and opened a page with one hand. The book, the trial disciple Yang Kai played against the ordinary disciple Yo Ting-jun and Yo Ting-jun. This person standing in the canopy is graceful, that it is a woman, but the black cow's mask makes people unable to see the truth. But the delicate eyebrows indicate that the person is not very old, and the man's arm is wearing a fallen armband. It shows the identity of this woman, the secret disciple of Ling Shaogei. The Linglong Pavilion is a special institution. It belongs to the 3 elders of the Yongyong responsible for the administration. The disciples in the church are responsible for recording the size of the Yongyong, including the duel between the disciples. Therefore, in the Ling Shaogei trainings, you don't have to worry about winning the game. You can get a contribution point. A dark disciple who is hidden in the dark will record the record and send it to the president every month. After the dark girl recorded the victory and defeat of this battle, she found another smaller book from the waist. She opened it and took a look at it. She and 7th day of May 14th, Yang Kai first 147 battles defeat. In addition to the newly added handwriting of this line, the result of all the Yang Kai battles are recorded on the top, all of which are the first, and how many battles. The result is nothing more than the word defeat. The losing streak of 147 games has no wins. This can be said to be a unique record since the opening of the Ling Shaogei. This record is enough to scream and scream, and there is no one who has never come before, and this record has been created. The person is lying quietly on the ground at this moment and does not know life and death. Yang Kai has never challenged others. These 147 games are all challenged by others. That is, they are challenged once every 5 days. This kind of day has lasted for more than 2 years. Looking at Yang Kai under the bottom, yawning eyebrows are slightly wrinkled. Some others don't understand why Yang Kai insists on this level. She has been turned into a trial disciple of Ling Shaogei. Even her own survival is a problem. Why is he still staying in the Ling Shao pavilions? If he lives here, his life will definitely be much better. What kind of attachment is this 30 boy? It is still not discouraged to let him lose 147 games. Perhaps this is a man's stupidity. It was noted that Yang Kai was also an accidental coincidence. Hianing-sang was a dark disciple and was arranged to monitor this area. Yang Kai was challenged every time. Every time she was stunned, she looked in her eyes. More times, Jianing Sang began to pay attention to this boy who has only 3 layers of hardened body. She would like to know, with his perseverance, will he insist on when he will leave the Lingxiao pavilion? Such qualifications, such cultivation speed are not suitable for staying in this river and lake. The world of ordinary people is his destination. The pattern has been broken. Only young Kai one fainted to the ground. People come and go, time passes. Jianing Sang figures has disappeared and disappeared above the canopy. When young Kai woke up again, it was already 3 times. There was no pain in the body, and the pace rose, and young Kai looked around and found that the place where he was not in a faint position, but in the shade of a nearby big tree. This is really amazing. Is there any brother who is kind enough today to carry it over? This was something that had never happened before. Yang opened his eyes and frowned. He vaguely remembered that there was a slight figure swaying in front of his eyes, but this memory is too vague, and I don't know what to think. But between the position where he is now and the position of the coma, there is a very obvious trace of drag, and this trace is clearly dragging a person to rub on the ground. Once again, I felt my own back, and the pain of a burning fire came. Yang opened saw and immediately became angry. The slightest affection of the benefactor who did a good job of this good thing disappeared instantly. This person will directly drag himself from there, otherwise his back will be worn out of the blood. It's better to leave yourself there, no matter what. Yang is happy. During the depression, young Kai suddenly found that his right hand seems to be holding something. He looked down at the top, but saw a small porcelain bowl with fine workmanship in his hand. What is this? This porcelain bowl is definitely not its own. Yang has no long object except for a claw that sweeps the floor. Where is this? There was a label on the small porcelain bottle, and there was a word on the label. Yang opened his eyes and muttered his mouth. Coagulation cream. Coagulation ointment. Yang Kai still knows. This is the plaster used by Ling Shaoqi to treat trauma. Although it is not a peerless medicine, it can have a significant effect on trauma. Generally, everyone in the disciple will carry a bottle with them to prevent accidents, and this is a bottle of plasters. The price of the Ling Shaoqi logistic office is not cheap. 10 points of young man contribution value 1 bottle. How much contribution can Yang get in 1 month? It is exactly 10 o'clock, that is to say, the value of this bottle of plaster on hand is equivalent to the one that Yang Kai sweep for a month. Who is it? At this moment, the unhappy head cannot help but burst into tears. The pain behind it suddenly is a lot. It has been 3 years since I came to Ling Shaoqi. In 3 years, Yang Kai used to be accustomed to the ignorance between the sect of disciples. I was used to the coldness of the world, but today, some people will leave a battle after their injury. Coagulation ointment. This practice deeply touched Yang Kai. It turned out that these disciples are not all cool people. Perhaps such a bottle of traumatic plaster is not a big deal for that person, but for Yang Kai, it is what is much needed right now. There is a saying called dripping crease, not it unforgettable. He is up to the day Yongquan reported it. Young Kai moved and talked back to the figures, but it was getting more and more blurred. Instead, a faint scene of sin lingers around the tip of the nose for a long time. Is this medicine originally fragrant? Young Kai then had a long experience. After calming down the mood, I finished the whole cloth and put a bottle of coagulation paste into my arms. Yang opened the broom on my hand and continued my sweeping work. It's been a sweep away inside and out, and it's been busy until noon, and today's work is over. With a tired and hungry body, Yang Kai returned to his hut. The injury that was hit in the morning has not been dealt with. Yang Kai can only endure the hunger and then deal with the injury first. Taking off his body in Xingyi, Yang began to wash his body with a basin of water. If someone sees Yang Kai's physical condition on the side, he will be shocked. Yang Kai's body is very weak, skinny, and the ribs in the abdomen are clearly visible. It doesn't seem to have much meat on the body, but it is this malnourished body, but it is everywhere bruises, everywhere scars, almost no place. It is in a good condition. Every 5 days, people are telling swans. Each time they are defeated, each time they are stunned. The old wounds have not faded, and new injuries have been added. If you change to any one person, I'm afraid I cannot stand this kind of pain. But Yang Kai resisted it. Not only resisted it, but also cultivated it every day, and it was not affected by these injuries.